Hi, so this is our challenge 2 for EC544. So we currently have our system set up. This is what's actually running on the Raspberry Pi, which is located right here. The Raspberry Pi runs a Node.js server that inquires data from a MongoDB database and reads the sensor values that are being sent by 3 Arduinos. We have 2 right here and another one here. It's 3 Arduinos. So the way that we have it set up is our Raspberry Pi runs a Node.js program. It has a static IP, and that's how it is able to communicate with this router. The router is in charge of, whenever we request the data, is in charge of forwarding to the static IP to port 3000 of the Raspberry Pi. And now the way that the router communicates with our front end is that since it has a dynamic IP, the Raspberry Pi writes to our server the dynamic IP every time that is hosted using a host name that we created inside a site called noip.com. So that's the overall hardware architecture. You can come in closer to look at the our front-end component. So this is our real-time graph. It plots the real-time values that we're reading. So this is not inquiring the database at all, and it computes an instantaneous average of our system. Now, if we switch to historical, however, these are all the values that are inside the database. These things are the collections, so the XPIDs, and we read the data and we can display it through time. You can select for the past 30 seconds if you want to reload it for the newer. So I'm now going to talk about our graphical display. So these are our HTML file, our front end. The front end was designed in Bootstrap, and all the graphs were designed using Canvas.js. So this is the first part of our front end, so the real-time data. This is not inquiring the database, it's getting the real-time value that is read by the sensor, and it plots them through time. So you can see the time is currently 3 p.m. and it's plotting them. It also computes an average instantaneous temperature right here. So let's switch to the historical data. So the historical data is about a bar graph that inquires the data, our database, and you can see these represents the XPIDs that are associated with a collection inside our database. And it plots the value through time. You can also select which time interval you want to. So currently we're reading for the past 30 seconds. If you want to reload it for the next 30 seconds, you press this button again. You can choose to load it for the past minute, for the past 15 minutes, and etc.